think I heard it somewhere said that leadership is like a constant march to death. So it's, I thought that was kind of very profound because yeah, you're the guy who's 24/7. You're there for people who, if they need you, you're prepared to support. You're prepared to like, be an ear to lean on or a shoulder to lean on. Hey, it's Jesse Garza with Premier Leadership Podcast. I'm just here today just to talk about leadership, um, just broadly. Not sure how it's going to go, but just got a few minutes here to kind of put some stuff out there. Just started this leadership podcast to kind of help um, other leaders, other founders. As you may or may not know, I have recently launched my own business. It's a consulting agency, one man show right now. I've got some assistants and people I've partnered with to help with some behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's just me. And the goal in launching the business and pretty much the podcast as well is number one, the business. I want to help leaders, help managers, help founders and entrepreneurs who maybe kind of at a pain point or inflection point even in their businesses, where you're just doing everything yourself. You're running and running. You're like burning the midnight oil, and you might just want some relief. That's where I know I can come in and with the AI tools that I've discovered and like learning how to use and have implemented in my own business and have seen others implement for other businesses. I know I can come in and help somebody who's in that position. But also, like with the podcast here, I just want to sit with founders and leaders and uh, hopefully lead in with some value and discussion that we can like actually share with the world, pretty much, or share with anybody who's willing to kind of take it in or consume it. Because at the end of the day, what is leadership? I mean, leadership is leading others, leading people or an organization. That's pretty much point blank. It's very simple. It's what I mean. That's at least the simplified version that you get from like if you Google it, if you look in Webster's, uh, simply leading other people, and that's just the surface. Because as a been a leader. I've been in leadership positions, 24 years in the military. Um, Also, leading my own team in real estate, um, leading, being a dad, husband, leading a family. Um, I've been in the corporate sector, and have led people there. Um, Even friendship circles. I mean, you can be a leader. So uh, it's the definition of leading others or leading an organization. That's simplified because what's beneath all that? Like sometimes you have people who don't want to be led. Those of us who are parents, we know that. Oh, too much, just a little bit too much. You have a teenager who doesn't want to do what you've asked them to do. They don't want to go in the direction that you think will be best for them. So you get some pushback, right? Anybody who's been a boss or a supervisor or manager in the workspace, of course, you know that. You know that people don't always want to do it. The mission intends them to do, what you have them as a leader, intend them to do. They don't always want to show up. You have people who aren't always there when you need them. So yeah, leadership has challenges. I think I heard it somewhere said that leadership is like a constant march to death. So it's I thought that was kind of very profound because yeah, you're the guy who's 24/7. You're there for people who if they need you. You're prepared to support. You're prepared to like, be an ear to lean on or a shoulder to lean on. Um, you're always there to guide and mentor. At least if you're doing your job, that's what you should be doing. You're always showing up. And sometimes you're showing up when you're not feeling the best. You're doing things. You're doing the hard things that a lot of people don't want to do. They're kind of not motivated to do. They're just they don't have the energy. They don't have the inclination or the desire. Um, so that's just a little piece of it. It's and I'm kind of just going on a maybe a rant so to speak. But yeah, I just want to get started with this. I was supposed to have a call with a founder or with a leader, not necessarily a founder, but a leader, director of a company. Um, Healthcare is my chosen field, chosen niche, if you will, because that's my background in the military. As I said, I was 24 years I was in the medical field, even more narrowly specialized in the mental health field. But yeah, I did have the experience of uh, working with medical personnel, work with doctors, physicians, assistants, nurses, and of course my fellow medical assistants, corpsmen as we call them in the Navy. Um, and then I kind of rounded out my career and ended up in a teaching command. That was my final tour. So kind of giving back full circle, and kind of like uplifting, training, and preparing my relief, so to speak. And that's another piece of it. Is like I was always brought up, from day one, even before I was in leadership positions. It's like you always train your relief, so you always prepare them to do your job when you're not there any longer. And that's been one of my leadership tenets as well. So train your relief, train them as well as you can to just step in and take over for you. That should be the ultimate goal, in my opinion, of any leader. You're mentoring, you're training, and you're supporting, and you're lifting people up. Because at the end of the day, you don't succeed unless your people succeed. That was always another philosophy. So I'm always preparing and training and prepping, and um, yet you don't necessarily. It's not necessarily a situation of. I heard. Let me just kind of backtrack a little bit. I was told recently that I am a good delegator, and I wasn't sure how to take that at first. I was like, okay, then thank you, nice compliment, appreciate that. But then the more I thought about it, maybe overthinking, of course, because again, as leaders, we're always just kind of up at night. We're always kind of thinking like 24/7. We're like our mind is on, you know, how do I improve as a leader? What went well? What went wrong? Um, am I, succeeding at this? Am I doing the right things? What can I tweak? We're always kind of like tinkering and like being scientists and trying to adjust and uh, re-navigate the course. But I just kind of like, as I step back from that, I'll take it as a compliment. As I stepped back from that, I thought like, wow, like of everything that I felt I did or tried to do, training, leading, mentoring, guiding, advising, I and doing, because as leaders, we have to always believe we have to do, we can't ask anybody to do something that we haven't done ourselves. So, um, among all those things, I was kind of like seen as somebody who could delegate, which is fine. That because as a leader, if you can't delegate, then you're going to be in trouble because then you're going to be trying to do everything. As I'm sure a lot of you leaders out there and founders out there and entrepreneurs, again, you know oh too well like how that goes. Not always so great. But I was getting back to that statement about me being a good delegator. Okay. My thing was I thought like I would be seen as a leader, like I as a somebody who mentors, somebody who like prepares you, because the rationale behind delegating it should always be, in my opinion, again, just in my opinion, uh, to prepare people to, you don't just throw them out there and you don't just like delegate a task just to delegate it. I mean, unless somebody's been trained up to do it, right? So first and foremost, you want to train them. You want to train people to be delegated to. You want to prepare them, you set them up for success. So um, I always believed in like, and I saw it like the challenges of not being prepared and not being trained or set up for success when you uh, are asked, when I personally have been asked to do certain tasks and I didn't feel like I was totally trained. I didn't feel like I was totally prepared for that. And granted, are you going to be 100% prepared for every situation that you encounter or every task that's placed before you? Probably not. But um, it's in my mind again. It's incumbent on a leader to ensure that when you do delegate, that you have prepared someone that you're delegating to, as much as possible, as well as you possibly can. Um, and so I thought that's where I shined. I thought, and throughout my life and my career, my lifetime of careers, I feel like that's where I've like, number one, gravitated toward like, I want to be part of an organization that has a strong training program and preparation and mentorship and, setting people up to be the next leaders or the managers of that company. Um, I gravitate toward that, and I always try to, and even when I didn't encounter that or experience that, because you're not always, that's not going to be every organization, unfortunately. But when I didn't encounter that, I tried to at least provide that to others. I wasn't the kind of person or leader who, like, I've heard others who say things like, well, I didn't get it when I was coming up, so, you know, they'll just have to deal with it. They'll just, welcome to my world. Welcome. This is how it happens. Look where I am. I made it. I succeeded despite all that. So, they can too. I That wasn't my route. That may be fine for some people, but that wasn't the way that I chose to go. I chose to take the path of, yeah, it was shitty. It wasn't work. It wasn't great. The way I came up. Let me make it better for the next person. Let me make it better for my relief. Kind of like spare them some of the pitfalls and the potholes in the road that I had to encounter. And granted, you don't want to coddle people either. Like, there's a balance. It's a fine balance, and I think that's what good leaders do is they find that perfect balance. Because coddling people, like just overdoing it for them, like kind of almost like the helicopter mom syndrome, like where you're like just hovering over them, like preventing them from like encountering anything negative or any challenges. That's not going to do anybody any good. It's not going to do the person any good as far as their development, and it's not going to do the organization any good. So uh, steer clear. I tried to always steer clear of that and find that balance, and but in the same sense, in the same regard, I always try to um, train people the best that I could and prep them to eventually take over for me. And I think in most cases, throughout my career, I think I have done that. Um, and feel like I, would want to be remembered for that piece, and being able to provide that kind of value to an organization and to individuals along their development and leadership journey. Um, so hopefully, and I have gotten a lot of feedback, in the past. I don't want to make this, about me, because I'm here to provide value for others, for other leaders, and like kind of pull out so that we can all, improve and be better leaders. Because I'm not going to say that I'm the best leader. I'm not going to say uh, that I can never learn anything. I guess the moment you stop learning, another one of my philosophies is you're done. You're dead. And I don't ever want to be in that position. So I want to keep on moving, keep on learning, keep on growing, as a leader and a person. But I want to provide value for it. So like another one of the things that's going to be hard and a challenge for me personally on this journey of mine is like the times when you have to make it about yourself, the times when you have to like uh, toot your own horn, so to speak, or you have to kind of let people know and share with people, who you are, where you come from, which is kind of why I decided like, just do this today, because I've got to get out there. I've got to put some content out there, um, as as a consultant in my consultant space, as well as a broker and a leader in the real estate world as well. So yeah, just I'm not going to be polished. I don't guess that I ever was. Maybe I tried to at some point, in time, thinking that that was what was expected, or the way I should be when I looked at other people and other leaders that I tried to emulate. But first and foremost, I think I'm going to be real. I know I'm going to be real. I'm going to have to be, because that's the authenticity that I want to bring. Again, you see, like I'm maybe fumbling over words at times. I'm kind of like stuttering. I'm kind of like not polished, and I don't think that I will be. I don't think that it's gonna, as old as I am, I don't think it's um, something that's maybe gonna change at this point. Like at least not to a significant degree. Like I am who I am. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be. Um, just I guess a guy from Texas who landed in California. That's me. And, do my best to keep it real. People I emulate, like I'm not going to be like uh, people like I do emulate as leaders, like John Maxwell. Even in today's time, Alex Hormozy. Um, Probably not going to be those guys, but yeah, I will always like look to them and like see what they're doing, and maybe try to like I don't know, gleam of just a little bit of what they're doing. And but I'm real. I'm down to earth. I'm like the layman's leader, so to speak. I'm like just a regular guy. Like I'm not like, yeah, I've got education degrees behind my name, but um, I just like a perpetual student. I'm always learning. Always will be learning. And hopefully, some of that learning and that experience that I have had, will continue to have, will translate into some kind of value that I can provide the world, and like some kind of like maybe lasting legacy. Because here we are, like in this day and age, like why not? Like the technology we have available to us and the technology that's coming with AI. Wow, like why not leverage that and just like it allows a normal person like me to hopefully do some amazing things, even beyond the reach of what I've done up to this point in my life. So yeah, I'm gonna yeah try to be humble, try to not to be arrogant, but again find that balance of like success. Like I've always been success motivated. Mindset is important. Leadership is important. That's why I like named my podcast Premier Leadership. Um, and just want to again just help people, provide value, and like who knows, what kind of opportunities that will lead to. So that's pretty much my spiel, my rant for today. Um, Again, Jesse Garza, Premier Leadership Podcast. Hope people can subscribe, tune in from time to time. I'm gonna have guests. I'm gonna have guests. I'm just starting out, just launch phase still. Um, I have a couple of guests scheduled this week, so um, we'll like just keep pressing forward, and we'll get there. It's just gonna be a journey. It's gonna be a process. What you see now is not what you're gonna see um, a year from now, or even 6 months, 3 months from now. It's gonna be a journey, it's gonna be a process, and it's gonna be perpetual improvement. Perpetual. One thing it's definitely gonna be is perpetual motion, moving forward. Not gonna quit. I'll be here. Mark my words. Even if it's just like if it's considered trash, it'll be here. It'll be here. I mean, just again keeping it real, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not trash. And hopefully I'll keep failing forward and keep learning and getting better as time goes by. So thanks.